I feel like even with the reputation of video game movies, if there was one that would make a good film, it would be Hitman. The biggest issue is that Agent 47 is an iconic and very distinct image, and casting him properly could make or break the whole thing. For example, if you shave his head, Henry Cavill would be an awesome choice. Tall, square jaw, blue eyes, acting range of a plank of wood. Honestly, you just gotta find someone with fairly chiseled features and a fresh shave, and, they f***ed it up. I actually remember when this movie came out. I was vaguely aware of Hitman as a franchise, and I think I had maybe played one of the early missions of Absolution at a friend's house for a bit, but that was as deep as my exposure to the series went at the time. Like I said in my review of Absolution, I wouldn't really call myself a fan of the series, but this movie actually made me a bit mad on behalf of people who are. Now, don't get me wrong, I put a good number of hours into the 2016 reboot and its sequel, and played them enough to master just about every level, but I didn't geek out over it to the point of, say, Bloodborne, while I spend hours listening to people discuss the lore and history on YouTube. That said, I do really like Agent 47, and I enjoy seeing more of him, but this guy isn't Agent 47. In fact, I don't think I've seen a worse casting choice since John Wayne played Genghis Khan. Yeah, if you didn't know about that, I'm really sorry, but now you know about that. So what actually is Hitman Agent 47? Well, it's a mess, that's what it is. It borrows heavily from the plot of Hitman Absolution, but it does everything much, much worse. The movie opens with some backstory narration over some random CGI images and short clips of people doing science, because this is 2015, and every movie by law has to start that way, when we are introduced to shady but official looking people doing shady but official looking things. Suddenly, an alarm goes off, and man, I really hope that's what actual hackers do. Big red button that says upload virus just in case they forgot why they're there. Anyway, an alarm goes off and they have to remove Dr. Evil to a secure location, where he's confronted by... Okay, I can't in good conscience call this guy 47, so from here on out, his name is Beans. Where he's confronted by Beans. Beans kills his guards, and for some reason they used a silenced pistol sound effect despite Beans not having a silencer on his pistol. I thought maybe he took it off while off camera or something, but it happens again in the next scene, and it's not that the pistol has a built-in silencer, because they show him use the actual silencer on that gun later, so it's, I think the Foley art is just messed up. So Beans and Dr. Evil share some cryptic conversation, and then Beans kills Dr. Evil and mows down a bunch of security guards, in what actually had the potential to be a pretty cool fight scene. I say had the potential to be because it starts off strong with Beans sneaking around, garroting guards and taking them out all sneaky, and even the first couple of seconds after it turns into an open firefight is pretty cool. But it all falls apart when he gets on the stairs, and all I can think about is how many bullets are hitting this 3-inch around railing instead of going through the massive gap above and below them, even when fired from angles that have no business impacting there. They also just straight up forgot to put the barcode on Bean's head for this entire scene. I think they were hoping you'd be too distracted by the fact that he has hair to notice. It's okay, guys. Continuity is hard. Don't put yourself to any extra trouble or anything. Eventually, he does make it to an elevator and strikes a pose. So that sound you all just heard is all the guys who comment trigger discipline under Black Widow cosplayers' Instagram photos having a collective aneurysm at this still. We then cut to this woman who's looking for some guy, and all she really has is a vague description. When the person working in the archive seems unwilling to help her, we get this glorious piece of dramatic acting.
Millions of people have lived in Berlin over the past 25 years. I can't be expected to sort through every one of them for your mystery man, now can I?
It's 19,467,062.2% Slavic origin, 49.2% male. 1.2% between the ages of 49 to 50. That's 71,291. That's something, isn't it?
Clearly what we have here is a case of writers trying to write a character who is smarter than them, but not realizing that someone smarter than them is still not as smart as the average moviegoer. Actually, her acting and general character remind me a lot of the newer Lara Croft, and no, that's not a good thing. Nothing of any real interest happens for a while after this. We get some shots establishing that she seems easily overstimulated, is trying to leave the country undetected, and is being tracked down by both Beans and this other guy who also seems to be on Beans' hit list. It's during this scene where Beans is approaching her apartment and she somehow uses the Eye of Sauron to see him coming that I realized maybe they are remembering to put the barcode on his head. They just made it almost entirely white for some fucking reason and no one thought to tell them that was a horrible idea. Anyway, she escapes and runs into the other guy in a train terminal, and if you thought this movie was silly before, you're really going to lose it here, because it's at this point in the movie that Beans, trained assassin, veritable ghost and master of stealth, whose whole reason for existing is to get in and out of high-security areas, quietly eliminating his targets and disappearing without a trace, decides to initiate an open firefight in the middle of a public space for no reason at all. Eventually, this firefight sort of devolves into a fist fight until dude guy and girl person manage to escape to the parking garage, at which point Beans finally puts the silencer on his pistol. You know, just in case all the nobody in the garage hears the single shot he fires. Just feels a little bit redundant after shooting up the entire train terminal. Dude Guy and Lady Girl manage to escape, but not before Dude Guy falls victim to the exposition virus, giving us this gorgeous line that I'm sure all the writers were super proud of.
Name is 47 and he's an agent.
He takes her to the American embassy and gets them both arrested so that they'll be taken into a secure location where Beans can't get them. Beans, on the other hand, has a plan too, which is also to get arrested, somehow bait this officer into not only bringing all his weapons into the interrogation room, but loading them for him as well, and then using that to escape.
But you can be goddamn certain that this thing is not going to end the way that you thought it was. Because the last time I checked, you're locked in here with me. And I'm the one with the gun.
No, Mr. Sanders. You are locked in here with me. And you just brought me my...
Clearly, we're dealing with a mastermind here. Okay, fine. This short little escape scene is actually kind of cool. I'll give them that. But the scenario leading up to it is unabashedly silly. Also, how long is that one chain? Was one handcuff put on a 6-inch chain, but then they had like 10 feet of chain left over, so they just stuck it all on the other handcuff? Don't worry, boys. That'll hold them. Anyway, we get 2 very short scenes of Beans doing actual Hitman stuff. You know, the stuff he should have been doing all along with the sneaking and the disguises, but it's all for nothing since Dude Guy and Lady Girl escape anyway, causing Dude Guy to have another exposition relapse. As it turns out, Lady Girl, like Beans, is actually a genetically engineered super soldier, and she just doesn't know it, and the medication she takes suppresses her enhanced senses, which I guess is supposed to be like the instinct skill from the game, but they kind of treat it more like the Force than just heightened awareness. Coincidentally, Lady Girl's dad is the one who made these super soldier agents, and she's being tracked down by Evil Corporation number 784 because they think she can find him. All they have to do is give her all the information that they themselves already have about him.
How old is he?
72.
Where was he born?
Ukraine.
Medical conditions?
Rheumatoid arthritis in his 40s.
Somewhere warm.
And what else?
Lung cancer.
Travel would be difficult. Does he have money?
You think so?
Somewhere warm with advanced medical facilities, a city. Hobbies?
Orchids.
What languages did he speak?
English, Russian, Mandarin, and Tamil.
Why Tamil?
Because your mother was from Sri Lanka.
Yeah, you know, if they already had all this information, you'd think they would have just found him already. But, you know, we gotta convince the audience this character is smart instead of, you know, actually writing her as smart. It's a lot easier to just make everyone else really stupid. But they don't work fast enough because Beans crashes the party, shoots Dude Guy, and captures Lady Girl. He explains to her that they were kids together and both part of the program that made super assassins. He then puts her through a really weird test where he ties her to a chair with a jet engine behind her and she has to escape before she gets sucked into the turbine, which she does with, I don't know, I assume magic? They also never really explain why she lost all her memories. You know what, maybe they do. I'll be honest with you. My brain attempted to physically leave my body on several occasions during this movie for trying to force it to sit through it. After she escapes the jet engine, Beans gives her a little...
You're the same as me, only better.
And reveals she's actually Agent 90. This leads into a fairly decent scene where Beans and Lady Girl use a bunch of stuff in this weird warehouse full of stuff to take out a SWAT team coming in to kill them. But it turns out Dude Guy actually has bulletproof armor underneath his skin, and he pops up out of nowhere to have some fisticuffs with Beans. Beans loses, but is saved by Lady Girl, and they both escape and head to Singapore to find dear old Dad, who blesses us with even more exposition, and honestly, I could not care any less at this point. We do get a neat little car chase, and to showcase how Lady Girl is coming along in her training, we get this bit here.
Right or left, Katya?
Straight ahead. Trust me.
And all I can say is it's a really good thing he took go straight ahead as take a really hard right turn, because that first wall may have been fake, but that second one certainly wasn't. Anyway, Dad Guy gets kidnapped, and it all leads to a final showdown between Dude Guy and Beans. Okay, that was pretty cool. Beans finally beats Dude Guy by electrocuting him, using the metal under his skin as a conduit, and then he goes and meets up with Lady Girl for the big finale, and... Hey, you messed up the reload just a little bit there. It kind of ruined the whole synchronization bit. You want to do that take again? No? Okay. Carry on. Never mind. Anyway, Bad Guy gets defeated, sequels get baited, everybody goes home happy. Kinda. Sorta. Everyone but me, who had to sit through this dumpster fire 3 times because my brain kept tapping out at the 40-minute mark and I had to keep rewinding to figure out what I missed. Now, I'll be the first to admit that sometimes a bad movie can be a great movie if it doesn't take itself too seriously, or if it does one thing really well, but I'm struggling to think of a single thing this movie does well. The writing is just... It's terrible. Plot contrivances don't suddenly turn into awesome plans unfolding just because the main character planned on a plot contrivance. The dialogue is terrible. Nobody talks like this. Now, I know Zachary Quinto can act. I've seen him do it, and I can tell he's enjoying this role, but he's really the only person in this movie giving any effort at all, and even he's clearly phoning it in. Beans is terrible. He doesn't look, sound, or act anything like the Agent 47 we know and love, and Lady 47 is even worse.
Bullshit, I'm just Katya Van Dys.
She sounds like she's just reading cue cards in all of her scenes, and I would bet even money that the cue cards have more emotional range. In her defense, she doesn't have much to work with. Her character, just like all the others, is a completely bland and mildly annoying chimera of cool character traits and one-liners loosely strung together by people who think mayonnaise is spicy. Even this wouldn't be so bad if it didn't take itself so seriously. This is a movie based on a game where you can dress up as a giant chipmunk and bash people's heads in with old cans of spaghetti sauce. It's not exactly Schindler's List. This may sound odd to people who don't know much about the Hitman series, but it's actually not a particularly grim series. It has a really quirky, dark, dry sense of humor, and while the characters within the series take themselves very seriously, the series itself never really does, and whoever wrote this movie completely missed that nuance in its entirety. Even that wouldn't be so bad if they at least cast 47 with someone who looks like 47 and at least vaguely sounds like him, because as it stands, it really feels like he's just a random dude, and it's oddly distracting how out of place he feels in his own movie. In fact, I'm having a hard time figuring out who this movie's even for. The casting ensures fans of the series won't like it, the writing ensures people who like smart spy thrillers won't like it, and the constant exposition and endless dialogue scenes mean even people who like Transformers probably won't like it. Thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna go rethink my life choices.